rid of the price. Like you'll see a horrible price, and then you'll type in the code, and it'll be free.
Right.
And everyone should plan on going to the awards. I don't know if you guys heard, there's some guy here who's getting some award. We're going to go cheer for him.
I need your votes to win that thing. I'm gonna cut out the other competition. Yeah. Thank you. That was a weird period because you're like, are you talking to my doctor? Why? What do I need to know? And also, I was being kind of grumpy about it because like you want to win. In some ways, you want to win an award for. Oh, you really nailed a game of the year. That's nice. Are you just some old, figurehead that people feel they need to, like, let's just pat him on the back because he's going to die soon.
Do you want to just do something interesting there, or do you want to do a waterfall?
It's pretty linear. Well, extremely linear. I'm like afraid to talk to Zach.
Wait, I understand what you're getting
I know, but I'm just trying to visualize it.
The shapes of that foliage work really, really well there as well, by the way.
Progress is being made, but I don't know if we're still on that exact same schedule. Happy holidays. Holidays are over. It's time for work now. No more fun. Wake up. Don't worry, I'll grow my beard back later. I just had to, I can't find it. I'm good. I lofted it around my house somewhere, but I'm going to find it and put it back on. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back to work here. I hope you had lovely holidays.
We sent out our FIG update and also announced the delay that we're not coming out this year, 2018. And people covered that delay. What?
I'm the last to hear about this.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Which the response largely seemed to be, yeah, we figured. There was no great betrayal. No one seemed very angry. It was like, yeah, that seems reasonable. That seems about right for that game. And we'll be getting sort of the next big third of the game stood up end to end, as well as focusing on, now that we've got kind of like our base combat experience in and working pretty well, actually starting to make some new AIs and trying to finish up a first pass at all the powers and gadgets and things like that. Enemy role. What was this enemy's role in combat? What do they do? It's pretty straightforward, but it's very easy to lose sight of like, you will do a better job of developing an enemy if you know kind of what is their primary function. Generic melee fighter. There's things like a tank. So with that being said, we need to actually decide TBD number 1 complex enemy. For my inclination, I would rather do right now like a tank style enemy, like a big enemy, the shield carrier basically, who's like got a big giant defensive shield and it's standing in front of other enemies, and you've got the shieldy dudes up front and then some support characters who are lobbing range stuff, and you're trying to get around the shield guy. And yeah.
I'm just trying to think of, tank guy. It's just, I still like, honestly, the way that we designed Psychonauts was we did the thing that you don't like, which is we took a theme and then we tried to think of all of the possible things within our game of vocabulary and how we could make that work. A tank character, just like, until I understand its purpose, like I understand it's
thematically, you mean?
Like every single game that we've ever worked on where we had enemies that fought you, it was always theme was primary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it made it so interesting to think of it.
I mean, the thing about that is like that methodology specifically for Psychonauts like did not result in a very robust combat experience. And I think it's important to have more behavioral variety. And I totally believe you can do both. It's just you have to keep those fundamentals in mind, which is where I'm trying to start from.
We're gonna embark on doing a tank enemy. So what would that be? What would it look like? What is the tank enemy itself? Like I don't really have a very good idea right now.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're going to be doing next.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so that's just the next brainstorm.
No, we're going to start doing silhouettes, and we'll start developing like theming as we go with it, and we'll come up with something that works behaviorally at a very low level, and I think it'll be pretty basic, and then we'll start talking about themes, and then we'll start making it more complicated on top of that. I have a pretty fundamental belief that you sort of work from the bottom up when making gameplay, and you make the fundamental stuff work. it doesn't have to be lockstep because otherwise we're
No, it
stuck.
doesn't. I just wanted to point out that it is a departure from how we've typically designed things at Double Fine, and Psychonauts might not be a great example of that, but Brutal Legend is. We knowing what roles we wanted, we looked at their
Yeah,
drawings.
and which is what I want to do in the future. We just don't have that time right now.
Okay.
All right. All right. Okay. It's
brilliant.
Cool. Thank you, everybody.
You can start iterating on these.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the right thing to do.
Just like the same thing.
Every person in the team needs to feel that they have creative input into the thing that they're working on, and because what that does is it engenders emotional investment into the game. It's almost like, you know, some of the best creative leads, and Tim is among them, are people who they create the world and they want you to just fall in love with it. And what that means is that, like, you can create your own little, like, you know, you can carve out your own little place in that world with your own ideas that kind of work within it, and like you can feel like, oh man, I love this world because look, I have this little place where this is the thing that I worked on. This is what I contributed to it.
That's like, there's the one where it's like, once you have defeated the shield, you're done. That's all you have to do. It's like,
Someone who is like in a position of power, especially like creative power, like I think it's really, really important to let people feel like they're contributing their perspective to something and give them that emotional investment in the game. Like, because I think without that, it becomes like just a rote process where you're just going through the motions and you're not really invested in what you're doing. And that just destroys you creatively. This is just very, very early setup. I'm still working on quite a number of things. His distances are not so good. You can target the shield. You should be able to TK it. I'm working on that. But for the time being, we can also kill him, and he has his animation set up to eventually he will die here. And there you are, guys.
Next is Cassie. Feedback for PlayPass, Shanghai Moving Platform Zone prototype.
Oh yeah, this stuff is ink, right? Because our water in this level is based on ink. It looks really cool. You can kind of see some of the where it kind of butts up against the shore there. You can see some of the lettering underneath it. That's from Tazio. It's really good looking.
So why are you at the office right now?
Searching for answers.
What's the question?
I mean, I love being here for that. I mean, that's my favorite thing, is be able to hang out with Tim and stuff, and you know, go grab lunches with him and go on strolls with him, because those are my favorite times, you know? Like we talked a lot about life as well. It's been cool being here because I've been able to like kind of sit in on meetings and kind of see the progress with like the effects and different and animations or whatever, and kind of see firsthand rather than just from far away, which really helps me.
All right, so Scott, we're going over the levels today, yeah?
Yes. Okay. The only thing I'd say, it seems like the germs wouldn't build like this, like actual buildings like this. Like, what would be germ building? Like, if you stepped on this city, it'd be so gross. It'd be like, but right now, if you step on it, you'd be like, ah, what the fuck? What's up with all this shit in my shoe? You know, like, oh, like someone left out their toys in my shoe or something like that. Rather than like stepping on this, squishing this city.
The stuff that would grow in a petri dish, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Just fuzz and
Like,
goo.
yeah, exactly. Maybe there's fuzz, like fuzz buildings, or there's like Jello buildings, or everything is just gross. You know? Oh, I think that's the cool thing about everyone. Everyone's professional here, so everyone takes criticism real well, you know, and everyone wants to be it to be better. So if you kind of just say, "Oh yeah, this could look more like this," or "This will look better this way," I mean, I know I like it whenever someone says that. I would hope that everyone else feels that way, because it's better if everyone kind of is honest about how they feel about it. Like anything, like in a relationship or something, right? It's better to just be honest, you guys.
Cool.
Yep.
Do we want? Should we show the Peter Chan stuff from today, or?
No.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what we got so far.
Peter
Cool.
did a
That's awesome.
new dump for Hollis recently, so if you want to check that out on the forum.
For Hollis's inside.
Yeah, in her mental world. Yeah.
Cool.
Because we're not really sure what that is yet.
Yeah, because I saw a lot of that stuff, but it's in flux, that stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Peter
Got
did
it.
a drop of like
Cool.
ironing all over.
We went back to the drawing board a little bit in terms of the concept of the level. Still hoping to rescue as much of the actual physical space we've designed as possible.
What is the design problem we're trying to solve?
High level concept for the level.
Okay. So we need a theme for her brain when she's not in the casino.
Oh wait, I didn't know that's what we're talking about. The theme for her brain when we're not in the casino.
So the casino is an invading force in her brain. We won't explain it like this in the game, but it is essentially like a virus, right? Because it's not actually part of her. It is something artificial that Raz has let loose upon her brain. So we thought giving a really concrete space for the first half of the brain would make it very cool and clear later on when that's being infected by the casino stuff.
I thought hospital was kind of cool because it's so weird to see a casino and a hospital and people on life support, but the machine is like a slot machine and like they're flatlining based on
That's
what's
also a
rolling.
really good idea.
Or like instead of an operating table, there's like roulette tables. And the doctor just spins the roulette table. It's like, black.
Nurse, hand me the dice.
Code red. Hand me the dice. Oh, and the more messed up this gets, the more I like it.
We talked with Tim, like in an actual brainstorm. He was in that one, and we came up with hospital. And people seem to like that idea. Hospital casino.
But yeah, the idea of mashing up a hospital into a casino is pretty, or vice versa, is pretty exciting. I can just kind of imagine it, like who the people are and the feel of walking through the level. Now I just have to build it.
About Cassie. But like you would come in here, which is actually this entrance piece up here. So imagine
that's awesome.
This is the 2D drawing that you're actually running through.
That's so cool. I love this part. Dude, Dorna pages on there is cool. But this is awesome. I love
Oh, and these, where do we set the mission?
She's going to be a two-dimensional character, and we're thinking about doing like this sort of stuff, where it's like Cassie will be like here. Cassie, just be like, hey.
It's the best. Cool if she ever does walk, she goes rips around. Yeah.
You can kind of see this is some stuff that just went in.
Yeah. So it's really hard to see right now, but those are wanted posters with Cassie's face on them. So that would be a really cool
So your
thing.
quest is to stop the presses?
It is getting dangerously close to reaching full playable. And then we'll make everyone play it. Ben is here because we're doing a Hoff, and Ben has been doing a bunch of stuff to sort of get it closer to the ideal of full playable, including putting some combat in it. So I invited him to be here while we look at it, and so that's all the stuff that's going on. So first we're gonna look at Lindy. Where are we?
Yeah.
But the flying is working really well now.
She actually dodges if you try to shoot her as well.
Oh, what a whoa.
Yeah, there you go. And now she actually won't be able to hit you, which is kind of funny.
Well, I mean, it is cool because she won't be able to hit you, but like somebody like
Yeah.
Bertha would totally squash you, and so it's an attack that works more interesting in combinations. So that's awesome.
Yeah, like once we have like, if there's something else we want to put in there, a different type of projectile, like that would do something.
Yeah, I mean
That's an easy and quick thing for us to put
yes,
together.
I would rather have the things, like she does a lot of stuff, and I'd rather spend more time getting the things she does working better and being better than adding it. Like I don't think like the thing that's wrong with her is that she doesn't do enough stuff right now.
Sure, I only meant for Friday, it would make her cooler. It would make her a cooler enemy than she is right now. Like her other attacks are interesting to us because we solved a technical challenge, but as far as the player is concerned, they are just melee attacks. There's nothing really that unique about them. And so I thought that it would be interesting to actually do that. Like, I mean, I thought that that's what we were going with for the pitch.
As we discussed, that I wanted to try to let's have her do one thing first and make that readable and work well, and then we can try having it be a bunch of different things. We can have a bunch of different Wendy's that do a bunch of different attacks, but not that we're going to have one character that does a bunch of different statuses all at once. That was where that was where we had ended up in the initial discussion of it. And we can definitely try that later. It's just like, it feels like we have a crazy new shrink attack in the game, and all I'm saying is it would be nice to get that working more fully front to back realized and sort of readable for the player before we add a second one.
Okay.
I mean, if there's a specific thing where it's like, I think what would be really cool is if we did blah, like we could try doing that. But we're at the point where the first one.
I stop marking. Fun is mandatory for the next hour. Before you come and get food, make sure you're downloading the build.
Paper related, I was just gonna say, I feel like the theming across the whole level was really on brand for Psychonauts. It felt really cool. It felt fresh and different than the other ones, but similar in the ways that the kind of paper world stuff worked. I think specifically the 2D sections felt really psychonautical and interesting to me.
Combat. Any impressions or thoughts? There was basically every enemy that we have in the game is in there right now in a pretty early state, but any impressions that people have about those?
I wasn't sure what was going on in the combat. I survived it. It looked like I was being shrunk in the middle of an explosion, and I was super tiny, and I just, obviously it's early visually, I wasn't sure what was going on there.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure what negative effect it had, because it shrunk the enemy I was fighting too. So it was kind of going like, oh, we're gonna kill each other as miniature dudes.
All right. Thank
you,
Psychonauts 2
yes.
team.
Yeah, awesome.
And thank you, everyone, for playing. Please do fill out the survey, and thank you especially for the Cassie team.
Ba-da-ba-da-da-ba. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Good to see you. Hey, congratulations with my Cassie level. Good job. It's all done.
Oh,
Yay! All done.
It's done.
Well done. Yep, ship it.
So that level is going to get finished up by representative art this week, more or less, and that team is moving off to kicking off a new level, which is the Crystal level. So that'll be our first new level we've kicked off in a while, which will be great. The level's going to be really exciting. It's sort of it's a small world propaganda, Russian Fabergé egg extravaganza.
How are we gonna do these dark rides, man? This is gonna be hard.
Well, I mean, if it was easy.
I was thinking the ride would be more like this thing that just takes you to the rooms, and there's things to look at, and we kind of make sure the camera's at a good angle, and it tells a little bit of story, but for the most part, it's a vehicle,
Right. So when you need, when an amusement park needs to tell a story, like there's that
dark
happens.
ride.
That happened. That's Pirates of the Caribbean, right? So there you go.
We're looking at this, now we're looking at this.
Right.
And
Well, but I think the secret is going to be presenting it once in a cinematic the way it's kind of quote unquote meant to be seen, and then letting you run around and go backstage and knock stuff over, basically.
Yeah, just that the architecture to him didn't feel like something that Germs would be building. It's not like there's pokey Lego pieces.
I thought that was a point. I mean, it's not literally supposed to be like somebody's going to put their foot in this shoe and you're going to step on Lego pieces.
Right. I think the scale.
It's the flea circus gag.
The scale is very hard to convince. Well, this is something we struggled with.
Really? I feel like it's doing really well.
I think we got it to a pretty good point, but it was. But Scott just said he really liked the Germ language and kind of seemed like why would we want to look at any of the other stuff when the Germs have such neat oddities.
My answer to that would be if you didn't have the contrast, they wouldn't be as interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
But we wanted to give a brief overview of this to everybody because we realized we hadn't done it for everybody on the team. So probably programmers, gameplay engineers, and audio folks may not have seen this. But just a really quick run through of what our phases are is when we talk about all of the phases that we have that levels are going to go through, and then we'll run through overall what the deliverables and goals are for the phases up to pre-alpha.
Ford Bowling is our example. Ford Bowling is in that phase right now, right? Yes.
Yes, actually, yeah. It's almost through that phase
I'm helping.
right now.
Yeah, I guess like there is also like the full-on bosses. Is that something that
We are not going to do bosses right now. We are going to do bosses in the game, but not at this stage.
Is it the case that the narrative is kind of taking a backseat to the, the action path combat stuff?
No, not necessarily.
Well, because we had a level in, in the original Psychonauts that was entirely reliant on script. Like, you could not have the level without it, which
Sure.
is like the theater level.
Yep.
For instance, like, so all of our levels. I mean, it seems to be coming in like that aspect of the process is quite late compared to how it's usually done, I guess, for us.
I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
no. Cool. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Amy.
Yes.
You were working on a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Photo mode thing.
I'm delegating.
Oh, you delegated? Okay.
You didn't get
Standing in for
And people are mixing their messaging where they think that
See about that, and then probably spend the rest of the day crying.
Just like us, just another day.
Can you put that in Jira? Just log your hours.
For the task.
2 hours. 2 hours. Definitely overestimated.
Crying at desk.
No, it's always the saddest thing to see people leave. It's like, it's just absolutely devastating. It's really strange to be the one leaving, because it's devastating in a way that it's just like you're doing this to yourself, and you don't even know what if it's a huge mistake. What the fuck? Just thinking about it.
But she had a great opportunity, a big company that is, I think, something that's hard to pass up. And I mean, was it 17 years she ended up working here, 16 years? I only worked at LucasArts for 10 years. You can't, she was like, I feel really bad telling you this. And I was like, you gave us many, many years. You don't obviously owe us anything. And sticking it out at a company, this isn't like, the 50s where you work at IBM till you die. But, people working at a company, I thought 10 years at Lucas was a long time. But she worked here many, many years. And she'll be back. Obviously, I think it's obvious that she's going to come back. No, I mean, she's worked here many years, and she's still a friend of the company, and if she ever wants to come back, she can come back.
I'm so grateful for even being hired here, and how that's been the most wonderful thing to have happened to me in my life. Like, I say that like unequivocally. But I also just kind of need a little change. Like, I've been here for a very long time, and I don't really know what else is possible, what else is like out there, and I think I just need to see for myself.
And Anna, if you thought you could escape, everybody who does not know, it is Anna's last day today.
Although
It's not
I'll
the big
be here
deal.
Monday.
You'll be here on Monday, and we
And
can make
this
a big
weekend.
deal and this weekend apparently, and we'll make a big deal out of it then. But it also is your last day officially on the Psychonauts 2 team, kind of double fine.
This is my last Psychonauts 2 meeting.
I know we're not doing the big deal thing today. We'll do it on Monday. But I'm like, this is the chance.
You gotta lead up to it. It's like
I get to
multiple
say
big deals
something.
up until
Oh,
momentous.
so-
Stand even.
Speech. So, we basically started on the same day.
But so we basically started the same day. So we've known each other and have worked together for 16 years.
Like, this was our first job. We were so crazy about, like, we were so passionate about it. And we were really young, and we grew up together in a very real way. Like, it feels like he's my brother, in a lot of ways.
So you know someone for that long. It's sad to see your friend go.
And you yourself were away for a period of time, right?
I was.
Tim brings that up a lot.
So this was right after Psychonauts. I think, working on that game, it was a very hard game to make. It really wore on me. It was something that was really satisfying to go through, but then afterwards you just ended up being pretty burnt out. And various other factors made me think about looking somewhere else. And I think when you spend that time away from this company, I think you really get a sense of where you belong in this industry and what it is that you value and what's kind of important to you, where you work and what you do. And I think that's what solidified for me when I was away. I was like, this is a place I want to be, and these are the kind of games I want to be making.
Mm-hmm.
I came back to work here, and coincidentally, it was sitting right next to Anna.
Mm-hmm.
I know she's almost always like the first person that goes out and says hi to someone. And if there's anyone that I can point to, like, how do you define like what the heart of Double Fine is, or what the cult? I just had this question today. What is Double Fine's culture like? I could kind of explain, but not quite. But I thought Anna could say what that is.
Like, he's the reason why I'm just like, okay, he's here. It's okay. He'll take care of everything.
We'll kidnap you from where you're going and then give you away. And I want to say best of luck in the next thing that you do, but I don't have to because I know you're going to do amazing. So, thank you.
This week, tune in next week when we close out the sprint. See you there. I'm Andy Alamayo.
I had to keep it together. Never show, never cry. That was Tim's big advice to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Tim of Legend.
Tim won the Lifetime Achievement Award, and he made this incredibly moving speech.
I mean, it's not like it's weird when you talk about something because it is a weird involuntary like look of your throat, and you have to focus on your breathing. I'm glad I broke that statue though. Kind of took the edge off. Oh, I broke the trophy. But as it went by, and it was really fun. It was just a nice experience to, and I started feeling like I got to be a lot more grateful about these awards. Especially Chris Brown, who's also sitting right here. Chris Brown, thank you so much. There are a lot of Double Finers here in the audience tonight. They're the loud ones in the back. Double Fine. Hey, there they are. A special shout out to the veterans who worked with the company for 16 or 17 years. Ray Crook, Dave Russell, Jeff Solis, Keith Chi, Anna Kipnis, Nathan Stapley, and the rest of you. I want to thank all the new...
Oh yeah, and of course, like Tim thanked us, the old timers personally, and that was, that was really, that really meant a lot. It was a really nice bookend to my time at Double Fine, but Tim is going to keep making games, and hopefully I will too. And so it's not the end of everything yet.
I will thank you, all of you who came to the awards. That was really nice because I was really nervous about going up there, and I was worried that I was going to do something embarrassing like blubber on stage. But I was like, oh, I don't want to go up there. They're all going to boo. And then when you guys were yelling and screaming, it made me feel so much better. So thank you guys for all coming and being so super loud.
Hear the speech, actually.
Yeah. You're like, cover it up. The speech is going to be bad. Just cover it up with howling. So that was fun. So today is Anna's last day. She's sitting right over there.
It's my last day at Double Fine.
Mm-hmm. We all know Anna's a big jerk, and we're going to talk about that at length. The depth of your jerkedness, as you know how it goes. It's never pretty. But Anna Kipnis is always a huge part of what makes Double Fine after all these years, and I've always really appreciated just how fierce of a kind of a warrior for the company you've been all of these years. We did want to give you something because of to represent the first thing that Anna and I ever collaborated on. This piece of Boyd. You can see it's all glued on. This is Boyd from the. I already said it. Yeah. There you go.
Also, just today was kind of incredible, and I think I just didn't. You know, I've always had a good relationship with people here, and I've just and there have been like lots of moments where we like get to say that to each other, like how much we appreciate working with one another and things like that. But I think having it come all at once was like pretty powerful. I didn't expect. Yeah, I didn't expect that like quite like this. I don't know if I could do this actually, but this is really a special place, and I hope that you guys can see that as I did, and that you continue keeping this just this lovely, accepting, and creative, and just rare place. Without me here, maybe I'll come back.
Just bring your pens to the restaurant. Oh, I was like, who hasn't signed it? Oh, me.
It's an incredible goodbye card, as it were. This is a drawing by Emily Johnstone, and it's unbelievable. The one from Tim is Anna, welcome back in advance. I'm leaving, but Double Fine is going to be okay. It's around, and it has so many incredible people, and they're just gonna keep doing those things. Like I think the culture that we old timers have like established here is like it's holding tight. So I think people understand it, and they'll continue what we started. So. Tim won the Lifetime Achievement Award, and he made this incredibly moving speech, and where he told us the story that we had always heard, but we had never heard the punchline.
And I want to thank. Okay, wait. Now I have to tell a story. Now I asked for permission to tell a story, and I didn't get permission. But then that bartender over there served me 4 shots of tequila. So. In between getting canceled and getting signed by Majesco, there was a long period where we didn't have any money, and we ran out of money. And I had to make a talk to the whole company and tell them that the next payroll was not coming, and there were 30 people who were like, we've been crunching on a game for 4 years, and now it's going to disappear, and no one will ever know that this company ever existed, which is hilarious if you've ever been in that position. It's really fun. So I thought, okay, I was really desperate, and there was one lifeline I could call. I had a friend who had sold his company to EA, and I thought he might be able to make that kind of loan. I hated to do it, but I called him, and I said, I hate to ask you, but if you lend me that money, I'll give you like 10% of my company. Oh my God, please help us out. And he said, I'll think about it. I'll go talk to our lawyers, and I'll see if I can do that. And I sat there on my desk, and I chewed off all my fingernails, and then he called back, and he's like, my lawyers tell me I can't take stock in another game company. So I'm just going to give you the money, and led you the money, and it was amazing. It was just like, it was just had such an effect on me. It's just that I was so embarrassed and desperate to making that call, and just to be met with that kind of generosity. Anyway, it struck me, and so to this day, thank you. Thank you. And so, to this day, if you play one of my games, you'll see special thanks to Will Wright, and I want to thank Will. Thanks, Will. I hope it's okay if I told that story, but no one else asking for money, I swear. Don't do it.